Retail and hospitality is changing, with often complex and fragmented systems combined with large volumes of customer data for businesses to make sense of. It's critical to work with the right partners in order to guarantee success. At Tratec Consulting, we help retail and hospitality businesses transform their technology, removing overly bloated processes and creating unified and efficient systems of working throughout. So don't just take our word for it. See for yourself. Tratec Consulting, the leaders in technology transformation across retail and hospitality.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the All Things Borough podcast. This podcast is the official podcast to Farnborough Football Club and is sponsored by Tratec Consulting, taking your business visions and turning them into innovative reality. I'm Alan and I'm joined by Simon. Good evening, Simon. It's been a couple of days since we spoke to each other, I think.
You what?
I think it's been a couple of days since we spoke to each other.
A couple of days.
Best couple of days ever.
I know, it's been wonderful. It's been beautiful. I'm less stressed, less grey hairs. It's been beautiful. You haven't got any greys to worry about. You haven't got any hair, so you know.
I've got plenty of greys. I've got plenty of hair. Don't worry about that.
No. Don't do that.
Anyway,
yeah. Looking forward to this one.
Yeah, this is a special episode, a catch-up episode of all the games that we have the club have been playing because we haven't done one yet, and there's quite a few games to get through. But we've got a very special guest tonight. We've got Carl Dugmore. Good evening, Carl.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
Good. And just to explain to anyone that is watching, because this is on YouTube. Good evening to everyone watching on YouTube. Explain to everyone who you are and what you're sort of what you do at the club.
Okay, so I do turnstiles. I'm always on turnstile 1. So if you come through via the comps and that, you'll have the pleasure of my company, and also the first aider, and I also do some co-commentary with Ben on the radio.
Yeah, so you did a lot of that last season, didn't you?
I did, yeah. It was mainly, it was me, Neil, and Ben last season, but I've taken a step back this season. So
yeah, so we've had to fill in for you a couple of times this season,
and a very good job you've done as well.
Oh, thank you. Very kind. You're very kind.
Some would say your commentary days could be numbered, Carl, due to my exploits, but others have said the complete opposite. But there we are.
Many have said the complete opposite.
No comment.
He started off very dignified and charming on the charm offensive, Carl. Already, I hope that doesn't continue through the episode because we like a bit of banter.
Just downhill from here.
Exactly. Yeah, it's starting now. Really. Are you in your toilet there, Doug? Carl, because it seems like you are. Are you sat on the toilet?
Yeah, actually, I am. Couldn't you hear the echo? No, I'm in my bedroom.
Yeah, it's a likely story. If we hear a knock on the door, we know someone needs to go. We might have to switch the camera off briefly.
Okay, no worries.
No sweat.
So Carl, how long have you been a Farnborough fan then?
Since 1980. November 1980 was my first game. I remember it well. It was my 10th birthday. My cousin took me, and it was against Kingstonian, and it was a 0-0 draw. It was pissing down the rain. It was the worst game ever, and I'm still here.
And you loved it so much that you another 44 years later. Well, as you may not be aware, Carl, you've actually supported Farnborough longer than me and Alan have been alive. So well done.
Yeah.
That's quite a feat, I have to say.
I try to explain to people, people just say, "Oh, why don't you support a real team?" and blah. But to me, this is a real team. This is my hometown. I've got an affliction with it. I love it. I can go to every game, home and away. I'll take my daughter with me. I know she's going to be safe. The players know her as well. And you just feel sort of part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. No. Do you support like a professional club as well?
Yeah, I support Liverpool as well.
Oh, okay, cool. Nice one.
Yeah, typical Farnborough fan down south supports Liverpool. Beautiful. Unbelievable.
I was a glory boy growing up in the 80s, you see.
Yeah. But to be fair, Carl, I'll let you into a little secret. I used to quite like Liverpool until I was about 5, and then my dad threatened never to take me to a Chelsea game again if I continued to support Liverpool. So it was either that or never go watch football again. So I thought, you know what, I might support Chelsea. So here I am. There you go. Oh. Story over.
I know, Carl.
Conversation over.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I was
But
I
what
was
is it?
drawn I was drawn in like you were with Aldridge and Rush and John Barnes and Steve McMahon and all them people and then winning everything. And then I discovered Kerry Dixon, Gordon Jury and Kevin Wilson, and it changed me forever.
I'm
Fair
sure we
enough.
do that to a lot of people. But
Yeah,
what is it though, Carl, about supporting not just a non-league club, but a non-league club that's your local club as well?
It just means that, I mean, well, when I first started, it was more of a lot of the players were local. You know, you had the likes of Mark Turkington, Simon Reed, Keith Baker, God rest him, Richard Walden. They were all local players. Jamie Horton a little bit later on. They were all local players. They had a connection to the club, you know. And after the game, you'd go into the bar, you'd have a drink with them, or you'd bump into them in town and stop and have a chat. Whereas if you support a Premier League team, 9 times out of 10, they will just walk past you and ignore you, you know, or a league team. And not only that as well, if you go away, you know, I've made some lifelong mates from away teams. You know, I've got some friends who support Chippenham that we'll go on to later. I've got a friend who supports Kidderminster and someone else who supports Scarborough, you know, that I've met over the years. It's, you know, okay, there's the odd times when it's not quite so nice, but in the main, you know, that's what, for me, non-league's all about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's proper grassroots, Carl, isn't it? I like it actually as well. You know, you get proper close to the pitch. You're not sort of in the away end at Newcastle, for example. Like all the players look like miniature mice running about when you can't see anything. You don't get any interaction with the players either, do you, at that sort of level. Whereas at Farnborough, I mean, we've noticed this over the last couple of years. Me and Alan have been going really regularly due to the fame of the podcast. That we've met a lot of the players and they're all really friendly and they all know who we are. We know who they are. You know, it's really I like that side of things. It's really good, nice family atmosphere.
I mean, I'll give Spencer his due as well. I mean, especially at away games, he makes sure that the players come over to the fans, you know, just to say, you know, we appreciate you turning up. You know, it's a long drive and you spent your money. Thank you, sort of thing, and it goes a long way.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I've been noticed that at the home games as well. He's been going around making sure the players go around and clap everybody. All the signatures as well that the players have been giving out to all the kids as well. It's really good to see. Really
and that's the thing. I mean, I don't know if you know where I sit in the stand there at the end of the game when all the kids all congregate down there. And to them, those players are like their heroes, you know.
Yeah, no, 100%.
They want to get Ricky Holmes' signature and Reggie's signature and Jack Turner's signature, and it means the world to them.
Yeah,
it's really important.
I think the players like it as well, being that close to supporters and feeling their and hearing their emotions and during a game, and then celebrating, going and like when they score a goal, going over there and celebrating with them, hugging them, and that. Do you know what I mean when you see them in the PRE end or wherever or behind the other goal, it's pandemonium when the goal goes in, and they're all it's just limbs everywhere.
And then when you got players that have been there and done it, like Ricky, I mean, what a podcast last week. I mean, I was glued to that for the whole hour or so. I mean, what a humble guy, you know. I've asked a few of the players what he's like in the changing room, and they said he's exactly as he is away from it. You know, he's not up himself, or you don't think he's better than anyone else, you know, and he's just able to give his advice, and people respect him for it.
Yeah, we're very lucky in our position currently where we get to talk to these people. We talk to them obviously before we record as well, and they're always really pleased to give their time. And Ricky gave us a good hour and a half of time there, chatting off air and on air as well. And yeah, he's a really good role model for everybody really at the club, and he's a great guy. They're all good really. Jack Turner last season was really good as well. And then you had what else we had on? We've had even Dan Bradshaw this season, one of the new signings. He's really good. They all speak really well as well, which is really good. All got the same mentality. They all want to get promoted. You know, work hard for the team, and they've all got the right. They certainly say the right things, and they're currently doing the right things on the pitch as well, which is good.
And I think what you all need to remember as well, which again I'll touch upon a little bit later, is they're just regular guys. They work for a living, you know. They've not had like media training that perhaps Ricky may have had in the past. So, you know, you point a microphone at someone and ask them to speak about something. They may feel a little bit sort of uncomfortable, but you know, they all do it.
Yeah, we try and make them feel a bit sort of relaxed when we do.
We do.
Have a bit of banter with them beforehand, and then
we do. I think that's one because we have had a few. Like I think Ollie Penderbury was one that was a bit nervous beforehand. There was I think maybe even Jack was a little bit nervous beforehand. But that's why we do the having spent a little half an hour or so with them before we start recording, like we've done with you today, Carl, just to sort of it starts the conversation flowing. Do you know what I mean? And gets them a little bit at ease.
Get you talking. Yeah. Relax you a bit.
And
By the way,
it helps us as well, because at the end of the day, like you said to little kids, and that they're it's like they're heroes, and we're Farnborough fans at the end of the day. And when we've got a player of the club that we love on the show, it's something. It's a good thing for us as well. So
but it also
helps
gives you a
us
little
in
bit.
way, so.
It also gives you a little insight into the person, away from the player as well.
Yeah. By the way, just
like
so you know, before we move on to other things, just so you know, the old "How to Do a Podcast Properly" book is out now in all good bookstores, $9.99.
Have you read it?
No, I wrote it. It's, it's not very long. You probably can't read my handwriting, but it's not. Other than that, it's pretty good.
There's been no sales either.
Not yet. I live in hope. You know what I mean?
But
right.
yeah, so at the end of the day, actually, before we do kick off, I just want to know what your best memory of all the years you've been supporting Farnborough.
Okay, so if I can split this into two halves over the two clubs.
No, sorry.
So
that's fine. Yeah,
go on.
Under the old club,
town and one as a new. Yeah, good idea.
Under the old club, the Farnborough Town. I've got to say it's the West Ham game. Those games. We drew at their place 1-1 the first game, and we're thinking, all right, we got lucky. We'll go back and get absolutely battered. We lost 1-0 in like the 80-something odd minute. And as we're walking out, we had like these hardcore West Ham fans coming up to us, wanting our scarves and hats, and it was just a brilliant day all round. In the new club,
were they just people on the street trying to mug you, Carl? Were they actually West
probably,
Ham?
but it was East London, so probably. So, but yeah, I mean, recently I've got to say Hayes and Yedding in the playoff final. I mean, that was for me a big fuck you. They threw everything to try and win that league. They had like Amati, Emmanuel, Jordan Norville-Williams. What's the other guy?
Omar Rowe.
Omar Rowe. They thought all they had to do was turn up and win it. And of course, they go 1-0 up after about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And, we got thinking, oh my God, this is going to be how many? And then at the end of it, it was just like pandem. I don't condone what happened on the pitch, but it was just, a big up yours to.
It did get a bit naughty actually at the end, didn't it?
It did, yeah. I mean, everything that day was all against us. We had the end with no T-bar. It was a poxy little ground. It was. But
you know what? I literally had the last cup of tea from that. Well, I was going to say burger van. It's more like a converted caravan, I think, wasn't it? With a tea urn in it, and I literally had the last cup of tea. It was probably one of the worst cups of tea I've ever had in my life. It was like it had been in there for the whole half, so it's a good hour old at least. So,
we were told beforehand that we weren't allowed to take flags in and pyrotechnics and all that sort of stuff. Now the pyrotechnics I kind of get, and without giving too much away, we got flags in as well.
Yeah. I don't know where you put yours, Carl, but anyway, we'll move on. It was a good game, that one. That's probably one of the ones I liked, to be fair, that game. I actually saw the Sam Deering goal from the other day if someone posted it. So I remembered it brought back good memories, that in the 86th minute, him running through from, I think it was Ricky's.
But when Reggie equalised as well, it took forever for that ball to cross the line, didn't it?
I mean, I was, because obviously me and Simon were there at that game as well, and we had my nephew Jameson with us, and I was actually for Reggie's goal, I was actually at the burger van with Jameson trying to get him a burger, and I was trying to climb over all these fans by the railing to try and see what was going on. So I got it. I saw it happen, and then poor Jameson was just standing there with a burger in his hand, going, "What's going on? What's going on?"
Perfect timing as usual. See, that's what I mean. Now it does become a fine art getting a burger at the football, I should know, and not missing any action. You know what I mean? It is a fine art.
Yeah, well, it wasn't my fault. It was my nephew's fault. So.
Yeah. Happy days.
But he loved it. He loved it. He loved it. Do you know what I mean? He enjoyed it, and that's when he sort of. I've taken him to Farnborough games before when he was younger, but at that age, he was like 10 years old, and that was like 9 years old, and that was when he sort of really started showing real interest in it. And then, like when we got the season we were promoted, when we had the FA Cup run, me and Simon and my nephew went to the Sutton game, and he absolutely loved it.
Yeah,
He
Sutton
told
was
me-
good, wasn't it?
and that's
Probably
what
not
that's
That
another
for
what
one.
me is probably a close second.
Yeah,
yeah,
another one I quite
that's what
liked was
kids want.
the game where we got out of the Southern Premier. I think it was that Barton Rovers at home in the
Oh
playoffs.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we
I
were
think
there
that
as
one
well
we
for
had
that. Yeah,
Jamie Kieran up top as well, and he was on
Yeah.
the roof of the main stand celebrating with the trophy. And that was really good. That's probably one. That's when I started getting my my bug back for the game. To be fair,
that's when he started coming over from Aldershot, Carl.
You know, I wasn't going to mention that, but
No, I'm not an Aldershot fan. I just like my football. So I go watch Bracknell a fair bit as well. Not so much recently, but in that time. But
they're in a bit of trouble, aren't they, at the moment?
yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, no,
They
not
drew
good. Not good at
they
the
drew
minute.
last night as well. Billy 2-0 up with 2 minutes to go and drew.
Marlow, wasn't it?
Yeah, shocking. So yeah, so
I was at Marlow. That's my other nephew plays is a player there as well.
Yeah, I checked. By the way, it's not
Well,
a
I
Bracknell
don't
shirt
think
one,
he
by the
was. I
way.
don't think he was in the squad last night.
No, it's not a Bracknell shirt, by the way. It's Nice. I should just let you know. Yeah, it's a Nice shirt. Just so you know,
Right.
looks similar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nobody was thinking that, Simon. So.
They were. Oh, I could see. I could see the Twitter going into meltdown already. I can see it coming.
I
Yeah,
can
all
see the
your-
Borough
all your
walk right
50
in now.
Yeah. Yeah, they're banned on this podcast. You're not allowed to mention them. Alan will have to edit you out now, Carl. Sorry.
Oh, fair enough.
You're out.
Don't listen to him, Carl. Don't listen to him. Anyone is allowed to listen to this podcast. Right, let's crack on then, shall we? We've got a lot of games to cover, and
Right.
obviously, Carl, obviously being part of the club as well, you've been to every game. You've been to all the away
Yeah.
games, which is important to us because we haven't been to any away games, so we've got nothing to say about them. But so we'll start off with the first game of the season. Away at Chippenham was
Yeah.
let's have a look. Here we go.
2-1 win.
2-1 win with Ricky Holmes with 2 goals for us. If you can remember, Cole, talk us through it.
So historically, it's not a place that we tended to do well there. And as I said earlier on in the podcast, I've got a couple of mates who support Chippenham. So leading up to the game, you can tell the banter that was going on and the text messages that were flying around and everything else. The first half an hour of the game, we just got absolutely murdered. How they went 2 or 3 up. I mean, they hit the inside of the post, then open goal and he puts it wide. And then just before half time, I think it was, Ricky intercepts a pass on the left-hand side, cuts inside, curls it top bins for 1-0. And then after that, after half time, for the next half an hour after half time, we just absolutely murdered them. We scored quickly after half time when Ricky, with the high press, closed down the keeper. I think it was Mason actually closed down the keeper first, Mason Bluefield. And then Ricky slid in to make it 2-0, and then we just absolutely destroyed them. And then a couple of minutes before the end, they have one chance that Jack gets his hand to and can't quite keep it out. And then it's a nervous sort of extra time then of about 3 or 4 minutes, I believe. So that was a good win. So and bragging rights on my part.
I was going to say, for a Farnborough point of view, it's sort of like a textbook way to go about things. 2 goals either side of half time, and then when you do that, it sort of knocks the wind out of their sails, really.
Yeah, it was a horrible game though. I mean, it was a hot day. The first game of the season as well. You're always sort of quite nervous, not up to speed, and whatever else. And like I said, historically, we haven't done well at Chippenham. I think the last twice we've been there, we've lost 2-1. So, and it's an opening day as well. I can't remember the last time we won on the opening day of the season. That was all good all around that day.
Yeah, good performance. I thought because I thought when I saw I was obviously watching the scores come in, and we won. Obviously won the game. I thought, well, I actually, like you, couldn't remember the last time we'd won the first game at home. It's actually six years apparently. It was. Someone told me later on. Yeah, and I thought, it's really good performance. Great start to the season, and then good goal, good first goal from Ricky as well, and decent. I mean, obviously Spencer's interview afterwards was a bit like, didn't play very well, but got the result sort of thing, and fair enough. And then we move on to Torquay, which is a massive first home game for the season. Really good. Obviously you're at the I think we're all at the Torquay game. What did you make of the Torquay match, Carl?
So I know you're good mates with the guy who does the Torquay podcast, but I haven't got time for Torquay, I'm afraid. It's stupid, it's pathetic, but I was reading their Twitter feed last season and they're like, we're going to piss this Tin Pot League and we shouldn't be here, blah, 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 blah. So
I think that's something that they have owned up to now and admitted that they were probably a bit arrogant and a bit in the wrong.
No, absolutely. But for me, you know, they've offended me now, so that's it. So,
are you taking the offence from everybody, all the other teams in the league as well, Carl?
No, but I mean, it was just the arrogance of it all. You know, they thought just because they got relegated from the Conference National that they had a divine right to go straight back up. You know, they're a big team, and so how did that turn out? But anyway, that was last season. So
got to move on, Carl. Got to move on.
I mean, obviously, what happened to them last season was awful in the end. All joking aside, and I'm glad that they've turned it around and they've got new owners. And because when it's happened to us enough times, hasn't it? You know, where we've gone out of business and started again, and in money troubles. And at the end of the day, we're all non-league supporters. So whether you support the team or you don't, you're a family, really. So.
Like you, Carl, you don't want to see any clubs going under, do you? Really, it's awful when it happens. Because it's what people forget. You get the businessmen in, you get the multi-millionaire owners, etc. But at the end of the day, that's actually someone's life that they've just lost. You know what I mean? It's that important.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And like I say, when I go to all the games, if there was no team, I honestly don't know what I would do with my weekend.
Yeah, exactly. It's like losing your favourite animal, or your pet. You know what I mean? It's awful.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's an awful feeling. Yeah, it's terrible. It's we had a good attendance for the Torquay game, 1,500, very very good. And decent game, I thought, as well, from our point of view. And obviously, Ricky scoring the goal from the spot, which it wasn't him. People might look at that and think, "Oh, they got lucky, got a penalty," but it was a stonewall penalty, and we controlled the game for the first hour, I thought.
Yeah, no, absolutely, I agree. Again, people on Twitter and that was saying, "Oh, it was a dodgy penalty," but 100% it was a penalty. I think it was Reggie who got fouled, wasn't it?
Yeah,
got bowled over.
Reggie
got pulled over. So
the guy just took him out, really, didn't he? It was a bit needless. He would have crossed the ball over, but whether he'd have scored or not, I don't know. It does make you wonder what goes through defenders' minds sometimes, doesn't it, when that sort of thing happens? But
and we after the game, because we were doing a commentary, weren't we, Simon?
I think we.
After the game, that was obviously with the Torquay guy that did the sponsored cycle thing for
Alan Wills.
Right,
Alan Willis,
Alan, so we had a chat with him as well after the game. We introduced him to Steve Baker after the game because obviously he had some money from the players for the cause, for the prostate cancer cause, which was really good of Steve and the club to do. And obviously we spoke to one of the guys, or two of the guys that do the Torquay Talk podcast, and even they said that we deserved it. They weren't at the races at the end of the day, and we deserved the win. So
Neil Warnock was very magnanimous at the end of the match as well. Had nothing but nice things to say about the club, which is nice as well. So even took a picture of me with him in it, which is nice.
And there was even a bit of eye candy there with Helen Chamberlain turning up.
We couldn't see her. Well, Ben reckon you could see her from the commentary position.
Well,
but
she came through my turnstile because I was obviously on the comps list.
Yeah.
So I got her number. Don't worry.
Yeah, we won't tell Kelly, Carl. Don't worry. We have to ban her from this episode.
Yeah, that's our secret.
Good stuff. Good performance. So 6 out of 6 so far. Things are looking good.
Things are looking good. And then Eastbourne came to town. And that ended up with a 2-0 win for us with Richard Chin and Taylor Clark with the goals. And again, another game that we was at again. No, we weren't at. No, it was Tuesday night.
I was there.
Oh, you was there. Yeah, you were there.
Chin,
I saw the replay of the goals. Yeah, they were good goals. Especially Chin.
I thought I don't know about you, Carl, but I'll let you have first digs this time. Go on.
Yeah, I mean, what an excellent goal. Mind you, he did. His goal was good, and Taylor Clark's was as well, the volley. But Chin, what a player he is, isn't he? I mean, how the hell is he with us?
Yeah, no, I know. He's unreal, isn't he?
But he said in his when he signed that he was hoping to get 10 goals and 10 assists this season. If he gets that, he's not going to be with us for long, is he?
No. No.
I'm sort of hoping he keeps getting injured. To be fair, it might hinder him.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
But yeah,
Spencer's
going back to
joy.
the game, it was obviously the return of Alfie Pavey, and
Yeah.
I'm not even sure he turned up, to be honest.
He was a bit quiet, wasn't he? I know he turned
Yeah,
up 'cause he got booked for
yeah,
diving, but it wasn't a dive, though, was it? It was a foul.
it was a foul, and then he came
Yeah.
off towards the end as well. And
Yeah.
Yeah, actually,
I
it was
think the
early.
crowd were having a bit of banter with him as
Yeah,
well, weren't
it
they?
was about 70 minutes or so. I think he came off, but again, I thought the whole game. I thought we played really well. Eastbourne, it didn't look that great, and the manager at the end of the game said that he'd messed the tactics up, etc., etc. He was on him, etc. I thought it was a load of rubbish, really. I thought that they
The
were
dark
they just
arts, wasn't it? We were good at
Yeah.
the dark arts.
yeah,
It was
the dark
a
arts
second.
comments turned up.
It was the
Yeah,
second manager to complain about dark arts with us, with Torquay before the game before. Torquay manager mentioning the dark arts as well. What did you make of all of that?
Is it dark arts or was it game management? I mean, who wouldn't do that if you're in that position? There's not a
exactly.
Yeah.
team anywhere that wouldn't do the same thing.
No,
No,
exactly.
exactly.
If you're 2-0 up with 10 minutes to go, your goalkeeper's not going to be getting hold of the ball, kicking it out as fast as he can, is he? I mean, it's just. I mean, the dark arts is one of those throwaway comments that people make when they lose games, and and it was all it was Jack Turner was just having a bit of banter with the fans in the end. He's taking his time, rolling over a couple more times than he needed to, and when players putting the ball in the corner and doing things, it's normal things that. You see in the Premier League and any decent level of football every day of the week. You don't want to. We wanted to keep our clean sheet, and we were going to do what we could to do that. So I thought it was a thoroughly professional display. Thought we played really well. The crowd was half decent as well for a Tuesday night.
For Tuesday night, it's like 900 or something, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
Yeah, it was
852.
just under 900. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not bad. Pretty good. So we're not 9 out of 9, thinking we're gonna piss the league, not Torquay, and then.
And then the dizzy heights at the top of the league for a little while.
Yeah, for a little while.
Yeah.
Then along came Welling, and all went a bit.
Oh my
back
God.
down to earth, didn't it? How was Welling? Both first
So-
through the journey and then the game.
From start to finish, it was just shit, basically. It took us nearly 3 hours to get there with like road closures and traffic jams and accidents and all that. And then the game starts. So we go 1-0 up after about a minute. You're thinking, what? Here we go
Yeah.
again. This is going to be 3 or 4. And then the team just fell apart. I mean, Welling was just too big, too strong, too quick. And they just totally destroyed us. For about a 20-minute period, I don't think we touched the ball other than to pick it out of the net. We were just all over the place. We couldn't put 2 passes together. We weren't winning any contacts, no tackles. It was just one of them games, I guess. Well,
What would you say? Because obviously Spencer had his say on the matter, but obviously it was a poor performance. But what would you say that the reason why we played like that? Is it simply because Welling were just better on the day?
I can't offer any other excuse, Al, to be honest. Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's the travel there as well. It's like it for everybody. I think you need to remember that. Their players drive themselves.
Yeah.
But Welling's not really a Truro or a Western, is it? It's only up the road. You know what I mean? It was just a bad day at the office, I guess. Like I say, from start to finish, it was just shit, basically.
Yeah.
We've obviously looking at Spencer's interview. He said virtually the same thing, didn't he? And also we had a chat with Guy the week later at one of the other home games. I think it was after the Tonbridge match, and he said basically it was one of them where everything that could go wrong did go wrong. We didn't turn up. We were a bit leggy from playing the Tuesday night before, and then Welling didn't have a game. They had their game against Worthing postponed, so because of Worthing's pitch issues. So they were just fresher and quicker to the ball, and it was just one of them really. So a bit of a shame really, but getting spanked 4-1 was a bit of a kick in the teeth really. I thought at that time, a bit of a surprise as well, to be honest with you, the way we played the previous three games.
Well, like I said, after you go 1-0 up quite early, you kind of think, this is going to be 2 or 3. But how wrong?
Yeah. So we were bumped firmly back down to earth with that the disastrous away defeat, and then we had the Tonbridge game coming up on the bank holiday Monday, wasn't it? Which is only less than 48 hours later, and promptly got done 2-0. And it was a bit very flat. We had wasn't a great crowd either. No, so was a crowd?
No,
Yeah,
it was just over 1,000.
it's 1,000. Yeah, I'm thinking on the next one. And we had yeah, it just kind of like, don't know. There was a bit of nervousness about. I think it was quite. I think the players knew it was going to be quite an important game to try and bounce straight back, but they really didn't have it in them. I think that the amount of games sort of caught up with them a little bit, and Tunbridge's done a proper job on us really. And the chap who are up front playing just off the main striker was really good. He got both the goals. They were sort of pounced on but defensive errors really, giving the ball away in bad areas, and they pounced on it. And the lad up front who's come from Leatherhead last season. He signed from him during the summer, and he was really good, really quick and nippy. And thought Robbo and Hollis just couldn't deal with him all day. He was a nightmare to deal with, and they just done a job on us, Carl. What did you make of it? You think I've summed it up pretty well?
Yeah, pretty much. And I think that was the game where it was 2 individual errors, wasn't it, from Eden when he first came back after suspension.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah,
and
yeah.
Miller was sent off as well.
Yeah,
harshly sent off, wasn't he?
We were a bit sort of dubious, really, especially the second yellow. I mean, yeah, it was just a bit silly, a bit ridiculous, really, from the referee. And I think that was the first time, because we were commentating on that game as well, weren't we?
Yeah.
I think that was the first time the linesman on our side actually got involved in any of the game.
Oh yeah, he was dreadful. Wasn't
Flagged up for Miller's second yellow.
To be honest, though, I mean, having been a linesman and that myself, a lot of the referees tell the linesman now not to flag for fouls, just flag for in and out of play and offside. So I'm as guilty as anyone that's shouting at the lino for not giving fouls, but they're told not to.
Yeah, it's like being a club linesman at a Sunday League match, isn't it? You're just a club linesman, deal with it that way, balling out of play. Foul throws, that sort of thing. Give obvious things, but nothing major. But it was daft because some of the decisions that weren't given were right in front of him, and he was just sort of stood there like a bit of like a leper, really. And then the referee's like, a further 20 yards behind play, and he obviously couldn't see it or what he didn't.
Yeah, wasn't there? There was a couple of wasn't there a couple of penalty calls against Miller as well that he didn't give as well.
Yeah.
There's been there was again it was one of them games, wasn't it? It was a real but it felt like a. I'm not going to say that I think I'm doing Tonbridge a bit of an injustice if I say it was a smash and grab, because it wasn't. They'd done a proper job on it. They thoroughly deserved to win the game 2-0 really. And in fairness, it could have been a bit more, to be honest with you. It wouldn't have been, if it was 3 or 4. It wouldn't have been any wouldn't have been a harsh scoreline.
No,
which is sad to say, but it's just one of them games, and you're thinking, oh, we just won the first 3. Now we just lost 2 games, and we've basically got mullered in 2 games. I think, boy, this could turn out to be a long, hard season.
Yeah.
But there we go. And then we had so that was that one. So we're sort of sitting about 10th in the league, mid-table. 3 wins, 2 losses, and then we had the I'm going to say rearranged St Albans City game because it was supposed to be played at their ground, but originally, but for some I still haven't heard the actual reason why they wanted to change it. Yeah, so I've had 2 different stories on that one.
I've heard that it was a safety certificate. They had a ground grading which they failed, and they had a week to get it up to standard, and they didn't get it in time for them to play us.
I see. Makes sense. This is what we get you on. We've got the inside track on these things.
That's just what I've heard. So then they requested that we swap it and spent.
It would make sense. I can work out why on earth it would change.
I'd spoken to someone who was a St Albans fan, and they told me that it was because they had quite a lot of home games in succession, including us, and potentially FA Cup, that they didn't want that many home games, which didn't make sense to me.
I don't think the league would allow it on those grounds, though, to be honest.
No. So, and then when I looked at their fixtures, they didn't look like they had that many home games in a row. So, but what it has done, though, for us, it means next March we've now got 4 or 5 away games in a row.
4 away games going. It is, yeah. We don't play a home game for over a month.
In a spring-stroke summer months where attendances could be high, especially if we're doing well. Do you know what I mean? So that's a bit of a kick in the teeth for us for next year, for next March.
But anyway, we won 1-0. This was the result. So
so 1-1-0. Goal from Miller Matthews Lewis in the 71st minute.
What a goal
and I
at
think we
back heel, though, wouldn't it?
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, if you're going to score a special goal, that's one way to
I
do
mean,
it.
if he meant that, then that is just different class.
Well, I think he did.
I think he did. I mean, because if you see the replay, he's going for it.
Yeah, no,
He's
I
going
think
to
he
do
means
it.
the back heel, but for him to heel it into the ground and then up and over the goalie,
Yeah.
I mean, if you see that Mane's goal against Watford for Liverpool, it's exactly the same as that.
Yeah.
I knew it, Carl. You couldn't wait to get a Liverpool reference in, could you? Couldn't wait.
There you go. But the attendance was quite poor, wasn't it? Though, but I think that was because maybe people had made other plans for that.
Yeah. So the Farnborough fans thinking it was away originally, and they've obviously made plans to go away and do something, and then and obviously same with St Albans fans, they probably couldn't make the journey at that time. So 651 has got here as the official attendance, which for a home game on a Saturday is poor, but
Rubbish.
There are reasons for it at the end of the day. I still think a lot of the St Albans City fans forgot that it was rearranged and they ended up at their own ground.
Maybe, yeah.
Stand up there. It's a bit quiet today, isn't it, lads? Yeah, very quiet, very quiet. Yeah. It's poor attendance. Bearing in mind we're averaging now. Bearing in mind we're 2 weeks down the line, we're actually averaging just over 1,000 at home for our home game, which is good. So which is all right. Obviously, you got the Torquay game at 1,500 on. That's added it on slightly. So yeah, but it's good. It's a good average so far. I need more long may that continue because it needs to happen.
I think all the time we're doing well, and then we're up and around the playoffs, and I think everyone's got the bug at the moment. I mean, it's nice to see like all the youngsters in there and everything else, and
exactly.
Just as long as they behave themselves and support the club in the right way, then it's all good.
Yep. Yeah, and I've said it before. I said it last season as well, and it's the winter months that we need to make sure that the attendances are up. So if we are, like you say, Carl, in and around the playoffs, around the October, November, December, January time, then the attendances should still be as in those sort of thousand figures, because that's where we really need the fans.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
I mean,
where
it's
we really
easy
need
to
the
watch
money.
a game when it's easy to watch a game when it's nice weather and that, but on a cold Tuesday night away in Truro or at home to, I don't know, whoever else, some other team who don't bring anyone, that tests your mettle, doesn't it?
Yeah. No, absolutely. And at the end of the day, that's why we need the reason why we need those fans, all these fans to turn up at any point in the year. It doesn't matter about winter or summer or whatever, because it's the money that's generated from them coming in pays for the players that they want to see.
Absolutely.
It's a big round circuit.
If you want to see your Eden Prutis, your Miller Matthews Lewises, your Reggie Youngs and the likes, then come and pay your money and come and watch them play. Because if you don't, then they end up disappearing. Because we can't
or do what Carl does and get him for free because he does a turnstile. That's what you got to do.
I still have to pay.
Yeah, you've got to pay.
Of course.
We'll have a word, Carl. We'll have a word. Get you in. Get you in senior citizen rate. Yeah.
Thanks, mate.
Senior citizen rate.
So anyway, moving on.
So we made a Tuesday trip to Hornchurch, which ended in a 1-0 loss.
Again, it's like a broken record, but everything there was just shit about the whole evening. The journey there, when you get there, oh my God, it's an athletics track. So wherever you are in the ground, you're just like miles from the pitch.
Yeah.
There's just no atmosphere there whatsoever. It's hard to create an atmosphere when you're that far away. There wasn't many who travelled from Farnborough. There was probably 20 or 30 of us. I mean, we tried to make a little bit of noise, but it's difficult. And Hornchurch were just, no offence to them, they did what they do well. They were big, strong, tough, and they just, and that's how they played. It was all in the air and knocking us all over the place. And I disagree with Spencer when he said we were unlucky. I mean, if it wasn't for Jack, it would have been 3 or 4. He kept us in the game, and the only real chance we had was a header from, I think it was Eden, that hit the underside of the bar. I can't remember any other chance that we had throughout the game.
We, as the promoted teams go, Carl, obviously that was our first experience of playing them. What did you make of Hornchurch, and do you think they're going to be up there this season, or do you think
Uh,
they'll be struggle?
it's probably come back to bite me on the backside, but I think they're going to struggle. Once people sort of get to know how they play. Any team that can get the ball down. I mean, I'm confident when we play them at home, we'll win quite comfortably. We'll get the ball down, we'll start playing football, and I think that's true against most teams of us. Actually, when we actually get the ball down and play football, there's not many teams that will be able to live with us. I don't think. Yeah. We just probably lack that goal scorer, and that's no offense to Mason, but if we had someone like Hish, the Hish of old, a player who knows where the goals, who could play off Mason even. I think that's just the only thing that we're missing is just that out-and-out goal scorer, and then we'll be there or thereabouts.
Yeah. My opinion is slightly different, Carl. I actually really rate Mason. I think he's a really good striker. And he holds the ball up really well, but I think he might be.
I'm not saying he's bad. I just don't think he's to goal scoring.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I think it's more the. I don't think it's a Mason Bluefield issue. I think it's more of a system that we play issue, and Mason has to fit him around it, and it does ask a lot of him, bringing other players into the game and hold the ball up, and he doesn't give him. Sometimes he only has maybe one or two opportunities a game to score because he's laying the ball off to other people, like Ricky, for example, who's got most of the goals this season. He's sort of flourishing from Mason's good play, I think.
He's revitalised this season, Ricky, and where's he get that energy from?
Yeah, it's his appearances on the podcast that's doing it, I think.
Maybe, yeah.
Giving you Lisa life, he feels like.
Well, I don't know. We had him on the podcast the day before the Hornchurch game, and they lost. So I don't think it's us. I think we're a detriment.
He probably drained him, side, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm all my talking. He said, "Mate, lads, I'm knackered. I've got to go." He said, "I've just had enough. I can't cope with him talking at me anymore." You know what I mean? He was actually one of the only people who's looking forward to going. It's only around the corner for him. He was quite happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, at least it wasn't a long journey home.
So just going back to the Hornchurch game, like I said, it's hard for us to understand, but those players have probably been at work during the day as well. And they've played a lot of games in a short space of time. So it's easy for us to forget that. We want them to play to their ability every game. Of course we do. But when you look at the cold reality of it, they're not pros. They're not full-time. They have been at work. They're probably tired as well.
Yeah. It probably actually brings us around quite nicely, actually, to the next game was Salisbury at home. And we're actually, due to the fact that a lot of the players were tired, like Reggie and Dan Bradshaw had played pretty much all of the games for all of the minutes. But Reggie had come off a few times early on some of the games because he was tired. But I think the fatigue and the amount of games was catching up with the team a little bit at that point. And from the Salisbury game on Saturday, but so a few other players got their opportunity. We had Taylor Clark playing at right back, which unbeknown to quite a few Farnborough fans, that he'd actually played right back in his previous role at Ipswich when he was a youngster, and so he knows the role quite well. So Spencer obviously knew that, put him in at right back, which sort of maybe outfoxed the Salisbury a little bit, obviously, and nice to see John Page get a start as well. I think it's his first start for maybe over a year, coming back from a couple of really bad injuries. So he scored after what seemed like 10 seconds. He had a really good start to the game. Good crowd as well.
I was going to say another good crowd, just over 1,037. So
yeah,
apart from a couple of blips, the attendances at home have been really good.
Yeah, they have been, and it's not just been the attendances, but the atmosphere around the place is really good as well. And shout out to Alex Baker, the Labour MP for the Aldershot, came to the game as well, and she was there with her husband doing a bit of work with the newly appointed Wahid, who's now the chairman of the the community trust. So she was doing a bit of work with him at half time as well. Watched the game. Big, nice supporter. Nice to see her to come and support the team. She'll be back, she said, before the season ends for sure, which is nice. But on the pitch, it was a good result. I mean, John Page scored. Pruty got a good header in the second half from a corner. So it was good. Couple of set pieces.
And then a Ricky special.
Goal. Yeah, and then a Ricky special. Yeah. I think I'll call you out on this one. Now, Alan said when he first saw the replay that he said it looked like the goalkeeper hadn't bothered diving for it, and if he'd been any decent, he'd have saved it. But state your case.
I disagree. I don't think any keeper gets that. That was right in the corner, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was.
I think
I kind
Alan's
of like the goal that he scored at Chippenham. Actually, it was quite.
yeah,
quite
it was.
like
Yeah,
that.
just as that,
No,
from
I'm
the
not
other
doing
side
it.
with
Yeah,
the other
look,
foot, wasn't
I'm
it?
not. I never said it was a bad goal. I never denied that. It's a good goal, but I just think the
He's
keeper could have done
he's back.
better.
He's
That's
backtracking
just my
already.
opinion. It's a
He's
great goal,
backtracking.
absolutely great goal. The
He's
keeper made
backtracking.
no effort.
He's backtracking. He's joined the Roy Keane of slating goalkeepers.
But look, I'm not going to. Look, I haven't denied it. It's a great goal. It's a cracking goal, and like you say, Cole, it seems to be a Ricky special now. And it's the kind of goal that he seems to have scored throughout his career. But the keeper should have done better. I'm not
I
a
mean, he
goalkeeper
scored a
coach.
beauty last season. Away at
Yeah,
Truro. If you go
yeah,
onto YouTube and look at that,
yeah,
you know, he's just scoring quality goals. But
yeah.
going back to Page's goal, I missed it because we
I
have to
think
take it
everybody
in
missed it,
turns.
didn't they?
No,
Well, we have to
I
take
saw
it in
it.
turns to stay open late on the turnstile till 3:15, just to
Yeah,
allow the stragglers to come in. And of course, I was still on the turnstile when he scored. So
Well,
I don't.
I was listening. I was listening to the Farnborough radio commentaries. I was listening to Ben and Neil, and literally all I heard from the beginning was Farnborough kicked off, and then the feed dropped, and then the next thing I know, I had Simon texting me saying Page has scored.
Yeah, don't worry. Anybody who's listening, by the way, and watching, and listen, I say listening because I'm talking about radio people. There is a plan afoot to amend this issue. It isn't. It's something that has happened frequently, and Ben and Neil have devised a cunning plan. Though in the eyes of Blackadder fans out there. Yeah, they've got something sorted. They're going to hardwire it in. So hopefully they hopefully have that a fix for that by the next home game, which would be good. So it's a long time coming as well. I think Ben's been asking for it for a while.
yeah,
But
Neil was speaking about it last night. He was speaking to Kevin Garbo, so I think it's all in place.
happy days.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so. It needed to be done really because
it'd be good actually for both sets of fans' radios as well if they could get a hardwire in rather than relying on the dodgy Wi-Fi. So yeah, it's weird. We've got dodgy Wi-Fi. Yeah, we've got a Wi-Fi provider as one of our sponsors, but that's what it is, isn't it? Yeah. That was not.
what did you think of the game, Nicole?
You what, mate? Sorry.
What did you think of the game? The Salisbury game.
The bits you
It's
saw anyway.
almost a perfect performance, wasn't it? You know, it was chalk and cheese for like the Hornchurch and Welling game. I mean, it's if you could write down what the perfect performance is, I think that's pretty much it. Other than their goal,
Yeah.
You mean Ricky's fifth goal this season? Ricky's fifth this season, unfortunately, his own net.
Ricky scoring headers. What's all that about? Why can't he do that up the other end?
It was a bullet of a header as well. Bullet it was.
I haven't seen the own goal yet. So
it's on YouTube. Have a look.
But what just that's all. That's the league games covered now. So what is it? Do you think is it because the losses that we've had a few of them have come from away from home? Is it simply just they're not travelling very well? I mean, like you say, the Welling going away to Welling was a nightmare because of traffic and road closures, and I'm sure Hornchurch was the same to get to for a lot of for some of the away
I think
fans.
the difference is like teams like Torquay can afford to do it. They stay overnight on the longer journeys, you know.
Yeah.
And as Ricky touched upon it last week when he was talking to you guys, you know, I'm a firm believer. I think the team should travel together.
Yeah.
On a coach or even a minibus or whatever. You know, you don't get the tired legs. You can have a sleep on the coach if that's what you want to do. You can relax, listen to your iPod or whatever it is you listen to, you know, and just relax before the game. Also, if all the players are travelling together, if the car breaks down with players in it,
they're
stuck, and it just brings you know the team together. I know it's kind of difficult with the players that they live all over the place. So I agree with you, together.
I agree with you 100%. But I know we've had obviously chatted to Spencer before the season started. Another one of our really good episode we did with him, and he said that it's purely a cost thing with a coach because it costs over £1,000 to cater for one of them coaches. Apparently, to an away game, depending on where you're going. But it's a lot of money. Can we not
use one of the little coaches at the club because there's two of them there, isn't there?
No, there's only one now. They've got rid of one, haven't they?
Oh.
There's only
But
one.
the other
But they
thing
can
I
fit
sort of
the-
mentioned in the past is, why don't we get a sponsorship with a local coach company and say, look, we'll put a
Yeah.
banner up down there and we'd advertise you, whatever, and in return, rather than you pay for it, just provide us with X amount of coaches per season.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a bad shout, to be fair.
Yeah, when you're starting in your job as a sales manager for Farnborough anyway, Carl, are you?
Oh, believe me, mate, I've tried my sales pitches.
Another job to add to the burden that you already have to put up with already.
I'll tell you what, over the years, there's probably not much I haven't done there.
Yeah. But you do it with all a smile on your face, though, Cole.
I love it, mate. I love it.
Yeah.
Speaking of doing things with a smile on your face, did you have a smile on your face last night's game, which we're going to touch on very, very, very briefly?
You're breaking up there, mate. This Wi-Fi, I can't really hear you.
All we'll say, it was a 14-goal thriller.
All I'm going to say is, my mum, God rest, always used to say to me, if you've got nothing nice to say, then don't say anything at all. So we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Anyway, we got beat handsomely. It was a good game for Tadley, not so good for Farnborough, but there we go. And our Hampshire Cup run has come to an end.
We move on to Saturday to a more important cup.
Yeah, well, I think just to briefly say on that to anyone that everyone that's watching and anyone that is watching that doesn't know, there is a reason why last night happened the way it happened. If you want to know, then all you got to do is just do a little bit of research into the club and what happened with between us and the Hampshire FA. There's no need. There were a few comments online last night as the goals were going in and after the game. But yeah, there's no need for it really, and yeah, that's it. It's just need to think before we speak, really.
Yeah, if you want to know
absolutely.
any more information, just DM Alan on the
No,
Twitter,
don't DM me.
on the
Don't
Twitter
DM
podcast.
me.
He'll explain everything to you.
All joking aside, guys, if you want to DM me, that's not a problem. I'll be happy to explain.
There you
Well,
go.
there you go. Anyone listening, there you go. Cole's the man. That's it.
Carl's our new complaints line operative. He'll be available 24 hours a day.
But that's it.
Yeah.
People are quick to complain and moan or laugh or being discussed or whatever about us losing the way that we have. But I mean, there's reasons for it that we're not going to go into now. But yeah, so the club has their reasons, be it rightly or wrongly. And that's it. That's the end of the story, really.
I would say
Well done to Tadley. Well done to Tadley, and good luck in the next round.
To draw a line under it permanently. Well done to the 200 odd people who did show up.
Yeah,
and hope they enjoyed their evening out. And also,
It was a horrible, dirty night weather-wise
it's
as
not
well.
very nice. Yeah, it wasn't very good. So yeah, a few hardy souls braved the conditions. And well done to all the lads who played the game as well. Both for both teams. So yeah, fair play to you all, and that's that. The end.
That, yeah. That neatly ties us up into. We'll have a look at the league table. So that leaves us just inside the playoffs at 7th after 8 games with 15 points, with a +1 goal difference. So are we, Carl? Are we happy? Are we happy with that sort of progress at this stage of the season? I know it's quite early.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said right at the start of the podcast, as long as we're up and around in the mix at the end of the season, I'm more than happy. I'm going to be a little bit controversial here, and I'm going to say I don't really want us to go up, and I'll explain why. Obviously, I want the best for the club. Of course I do, and I want to finish as high as we can. But I'm happy in this league. We're competitive. We're used to winning games. And purely from my point of view, the away games are relatively easy to get to. I can get to all of them. I mean, who wants to go to Gateshead on a Tuesday night, or something like that? But yeah, purely from
Simon putting his hand up. Simon won't even go to bloody Slough away.
Yeah, it's not a very nice place for that, is it? You know what I mean? Not very nice.
Some banter with the boys on the radio and say to them, like, the real fans go to away games as well. But
I want us to get promoted because I think it'd be a fantastic season, and I think I might quit my job and just follow Farnborough around all season. It'd be great until about Christmas when I run out of money.
We'll quote you
Um,
on that if that happens then, Si.
Yeah. You don't, as long as you can sub me for the tickets, Carl. No sweat. We'll go ask, and we'll take it. We'll take it in turns driving if you like. I don't mind.
Fair
I
enough.
think for me, getting promoted. Obviously, like this season, we need to do better than what we did last season. That's the aim of progress. That's the art of progress. So finishing in the playoffs for us this season is a must, and I think all the players want that. I mean, because and that's sort of ingrained in them to do this season. As far as getting promoted, I would of course I would love it, because it again, like I said, it sort of shows the progress that the club are making. But then when it happens, if it happens, then the club have to make some decisions about what they're going to do in that league and how they're going to try and survive.
Well,
And
I think Spencer has sort of alluded to the fact that
He has.
moving on, if we want to progress, then we're probably going to have to look to go full time.
yeah, or some sort of full-time hybrid kind of.
Yeah.
I've got a feeling that I think possibly, depending on how this season goes, if we get in the playoffs and do okay this season, I can see us maybe moving to a full-time hybrid model next season.
Possibly.
I can see it happening. I think it's
To
going to
be
have to happen.
fair-
I think sooner rather than later, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's going to have to, because if they want the club to do well and progress, something like that is going to have to happen. But if I think I agree with Simon, but also I think if we get in the playoffs and don't win, don't get through, I think I can still see that sort of happening anyway, because there are clubs in this league that are full-time stroke hybrid.
Yeah.
Playing amongst around us.
It's purely for the progression side of things, isn't it? Because everybody wants to get promoted. Because we did really well last season, should have made the playoffs and just failed at the end, which is really unfortunate. We won one game against Taunton, did us over at home. So the progression from there to this season, everyone who wants to playoffs is our ambition. Whereas last season it was sort of make the playoffs, maybe top half. Now it's moved on. So the next progression really is to say, right, we need to go try and get the automatic spots if we can, or try and get into the top three to get a home playoff. But in order to do that, you've got to get. I think you're going to need to be full time. Spencer alluded to it in his interview with us at the start of the season.
I mean, as heartbreaking as that was last season, I think at the start of last season, if you'd have said, come the end of the season, we'll finish 8th, I mean, people would have ripped your arm off for that.
Yeah, definitely. I thought I was really pleased with how the season went, considering how we started, because we weren't particularly didn't do very well. Couldn't win at home, couldn't win an away game for love of money, could we? And then all of a sudden, it just if Spencer decided that things weren't going the way they should go, and the players weren't performing, and some of the players he brought in weren't maybe as at the level that was required. So he wielded the axe and brought in a younger, hungrier group of people, and it worked a treat, really, didn't it? And
it just sort of kicked off, didn't it? Really, after January, we had a poor January, didn't we? If I remember correctly, and then after that, we just went. I can't remember how many games unbeaten. Was it
15 matches? I think something like that. Wasn't it? Yeah, it was really good, and there's at least a minimum 12. I think it was. It might be 15. Well, 12 definitely at least. And we were the form team in the league, and probably if you take into account last season, in close to this season, we're probably still in the top 2 or 3 if you take all of those games in. We've lost 3 games this season, but we've been spanked once away from home. But the home game against, I think it's our lack of full timeness, if that's a word, and sort of and just general
small squad as well. We've still got a small squad as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
when injuries hit, they hit hard.
They do, yeah. And I think he's done the right thing against Salisbury, resting Reggie, and he took Dan Bradshaw out of the fire line a bit, because I think his form had dipped down because he played just so many matches, and he's only a young lad still learning as well. So I think that was a really good idea. So I think all plaudits to Spencer. What would you Carl, what would you give the sort of start of the season out of 10 so far? What do you reckon?
Probably an 8, maybe.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that.
Yeah, I'd say an 8.
What do you reckon now? 8?
I think I was gonna say like 7 or 8, maybe 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I think 7.5. Yeah, I think I'm still
I'll
thinking
with 7.5 then. Yeah,
I'm still thinking we're that the Welling away defeat and then back to back defeats has sort of soured things slightly for me. That makes you think maybe we're a little bit.
Well, see, I'm looking at it the other way, the way that we played against Torquay and Eastbourne. That's how we can play. And last Saturday in Salisbury.
Yeah.
That's how we can play.
Really
That's
good.
what we've got in
Yeah.
our locker.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, it was a really good performance against Salisbury. They didn't show up really, Salisbury, did they? To be fair, but I thought they weren't very good. But I think we did a job on them really. I think it was more. I think rather than them being poor, we were quite good as well. So the two things culminated in us comfortably winning that game, which is good. So yeah, I think 7.5, 8 is pretty fair. I think most Farnborough fans, apart from the the odd idiot, would say that we've had a really good start to the season. Everyone would be happy with it really. I think we're doing all right. I think we're doing quite well. We've got some tough games coming up though. I'm trying to. I always like to look forward rather than back. Obviously we've done a lot of.
Well, our next league games away at Hemel. It doesn't get much harder than that at the moment, does it? So
myself and Alan should be at that game because it's only up the road.
Yeah.
So obviously before that we've got the Walton game. I'm booked on my first away coach. So if you're on the coach with me, unlucky.
No,
you driving up there, Rico?
Yeah. It's only half an hour, 40 minutes away, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, it was only a 10 past, so I decided I'd do that. So I'm up.
Unfortunately, I'm not making the Walton game because my car is having its MOT and service.
These excuses he comes up with, they're just endless. You know what I mean? It's always something. You know what I mean? Like,
I should be at the Hemel game because it is only up the road for me.
Local for you, isn't it?
Yeah, I should be there. I was there the last when we played them away last season. And it was pissing down with rain.
That was wasn't that Harvey Bradbury's debut?
It was Harvey Bradbury's debut, yeah, and he came off at half time after we got booked.
Yeah, he's doing quite well.
Elbows all over the place. He was.
He's doing well at Haverford.
He's scored a few goals. Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing well. Yeah, good luck to him. He's a great bloke, lovely guy.
I haven't.
So yeah, fixtures wise, Farnborough. We're away at Walton and Hersham in the FA Cup preliminary round. So that's really a must-win match. So I know the lads and the team are going to take that one really seriously, try and get through. So it could be a bit of a banana skin that game for us. And we're doing quite well. But they only drew last night 2-2, so maybe that's and hopefully they'll be knackered.
I mean, I think if we're at it, and if we play like we can, it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
I mean, I stand to be corrected and kicked up the backside now, but if we play like we can, I can't see us getting any issue on Saturday.
It's a 3G pitch as well, so there's no reason why we can't play the way that we want to play as well. It's a perfect pitch to play on.
Yeah. That's the pitch where
it's not very good, but
seasons ago.
Yeah. So then we're playing. Then the week after that, 21st September, we play Hemel away. It'll be a tough game because they're top of the league currently at the moment. Had a good start. Just signed Jordan Esprit from Bracknell as well. So they've bolstered their strike force. I think they have got a few injuries though at the moment up front, which could be helpful. But
they've still got that guy, that Ricardo German that they signed from Cheshire. He scored a few goals for him.
He's done well. He's started the season well. Then the next home game was the 5th of October at Aveley. We've got two very winnable home games actually back to back. We've got Aveley at home and then Enfield at home. So that'll be obviously the return of Olivia and Hish from Enfield for that one. So the Boo Boys will be out.
And John Oyenuga's there. I know he's at Enfield, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's at Enfield, yeah.
Yeah,
they're Enfield.
Enfield, yeah. Enfield, yeah. So they're quite with him. Yeah. So the three ex-Farnborough boys coming back. So so it's
Enfield, not Aveley though.
That's what I said. I said Enfield second game.
Oh, did you? Sorry.
Keep up, Carl. Come on, keep up.
Oh, shut up. Yeah.
I know it's past your bedtime, mate. But you got to crack on. Come on.
Right, Cole. I want to quickly touch on before we go to the women's team because I know you're a big supporter of them. You watched quite a few of the games last season, did you?
Yes, I did. Yeah, the home games. Because Kelly and Paige, her daughter, they do the turnstiles for the ladies. So I go and watch them. Yeah, I mean they've done really well last season for their first season. Both teams got promoted, and the A team won the cup as well. So
won the Hampshire Cup. Yeah,
won the Hampshire Cup, which we were at, weren't we? It was down there.
Yeah, we was all out there.
Yeah. Against a team who had only lost once all season, I think in Bursaldon.
They got promoted. I think they won promotion a couple of weeks before.
Yeah, they're the regionals now.
Yeah, but 2 leagues above as well, weren't they? Or 2 divisions above. But I mean, it's they've kept the core of the team from last season. They got a bit of a schooling last week when they played in the FA Cup, the Farnham. But from what I believe, I mean, these players from Farnham are getting paid. That's what I'm told. So they're probably
and I think that they're pretty much all of them should be really be playing one or two leagues above where they are currently.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a funny one really, because obviously they must have all been excited to be competing in the FA Cup for the first time for the club as well, and probably maybe for a lot of the players as well as their first time. So the result probably took the shine off that a little bit. But look, when you're facing a team like Farnham with the players that they have got, it's a bit hard, it's a bit difficult. But
But they had a good win at the weekend. They won away.
Yeah, won away at Basingstoke at the weekend in the first league game of the season in the new Division 1, and won pretty convincingly. I think it was 6-0, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was talking to Leanne last night. Actually, she was at the game last night, and she was saying, it could have been a hell of a lot more if they'd really gone for it.
Really?
Yeah. Big shout out to Ellie Staley, the player we sponsor on the podcast. She got four of the goals. I think she scored after 16 seconds or something.
Something like 15, 16 seconds. Yeah, something like that.
So yeah,
she's some player, that girl, isn't she?
Yeah, she's a good player. She's I had a quick chat with her via Twitter the other night, and she was saying it was the Farnham game was disappointing, but apparently she was more annoyed that they weren't very nice people rather than the result. To be honest with you.
Oh, really?
Probably sums Ellie up. She's just a nice girl. She just wants to enjoy football, which is really good.
I think also with Ellie, I noticed it with all of last season, because of how good she is and how skillful she is. She does get she has got she has a target on her back, basically, because everyone knows what she's like, and it's not hard for opposition players to quickly figure out who the danger person is.
Yeah.
And so she ends up getting doubled up, and sometimes she gets fouled, and I think on one occasion
has to take quite a few knocks, especially Esme up top's the same as well. She takes quite a few batterings as well, but she gives them out too. But she's they all do really. But it's good to see him come back. I did say to I spoke to Esme briefly last week as well, and she was really happy with the result, etc. But I said to Ellie also that that you might have lost 6-0 this week, but you guys are really great at coming back really quickly, and that's exactly what happened. They didn't let it affect them. They've gone to the next game and then reverse the score round completely.
I think they're all quite close as well outside of the game as well, because having watched your podcast with Craig and Leanne, they were just saying how much they'd missed the girls over the summer, and that they were all going out as well, for nights out. Yeah. That can only bode well for a good season.
Have you literally got nothing better to do, Carl, than listen to our podcast?
No, mate, don't complain, Simon. Let's getting our numbers up.
Yeah, that's true. He's our only fan. Are you one of our one subscriber?
Yeah. What did you say about OnlyFans?
OnlyFans, no, not yet. It's coming, Carl. It's coming.
That's Simon's other project.
Yeah, I've got to shave my legs first, apparently, before I'm allowed on. But I'm debating it. As long as you're listening to the podcast and watching it on YouTube via your in your toilet there, Carl, that's all that matters, really.
Good toilet.
But no, just quickly again on the girls. Like you said, Carl, they have like a really good. Simon touched on it. I think Simon touched on it in Craig and Leanne's episode, that the camaraderie that they have and the friendship that they all have with each other. There's no sort of bad blood between any of them. There's no arguments. They all get on really, really well. And it's something, like Simon said in their episode, that you don't see very often in clubs and teams. Look, normally with some teams, be it men or women, sometimes you have little cliques, groups of players that only associate with certain players, but it's not like that with this lot. I mean, they're all for one, and they all do everything together, which is really good and really refreshing to see, and part of their success and why they're successful.
Absolutely, and you quite often see that Jade and Leah and Leanne and Mel and a couple of the others come. I just think that maybe the men could support the women a little bit more than they do. Yeah,
it's a difficult one, really, isn't it? Because it would be nice, because obviously they are the same club. But it would be nice to maybe see. I know CJ went to see a couple of the B team games, quite a few of the B team games, because isn't his partner, or wasn't
his girlfriend played for them? Yeah,
played for them last season. So I think he went to see quite a few of their games. But yeah, no, I agree. It would be nice to see some of the men players watch them once or twice. It doesn't have to be every week, obviously. They've all got their own lives, but yeah, it would be nice to see. But at the end of the day, they're getting a lot of support every week, especially at home games. They get big crowds at home games, which I'm sure they're very pleased to see.
No, absolutely, yeah. Long may it continue.
And it's certainly come a long way from where it started as well. They're getting 20 or 30 through the door to getting like treble figures now, so over 100 for the games. I don't know what the Farnham.
I think there was just over 200 at the Farnham game.
I heard that, which is really good. I mean, the Farnham, I assume, brought a few with them as well. I assume, but it's really good to see. Unfortunately, I couldn't make that game. My car died, so my plans were through out the window. So I know it sounds
at the end
like
of the day as well. At the
yeah,
end
no,
of the day
they've
as well.
got dodgy motors.
Well, no, yours is a dodgy motor. Mine's getting a few little minor repairs. But at the end of the day, Cole, it only costs what, £2, £3 to go and watch them. So you definitely get value for money. I'll tell you, I can say that.
Yeah, it's good. Where
absolutely.
I'm gonna put you on the spot now. Where are the girls playing this weekend? Just to give them a shout.
I think they're away to Gosport this weekend.
Yeah, I believe they are. Yeah.
And the weekend after, they're at home and it's a local derby against Rushmore.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. What I was going to ask you actually. I've noticed this. Why are Rushmore in the Premier in the first division?
I've got no idea.
I thought they were. I don't think they were in the Premier last year. Were they? I keep saying Premier, first division.
I think a lot of our players used to play for Rushmore.
Yeah.
But I don't really know too much about the ins and outs of the league, to be honest.
Yeah. No, I don't think. I thought they were in our league last season, but they're in the.
I think that was their development squad last year.
Was it? Oh,
I think it was. Yeah, I'm just looking now. They definitely weren't in Division 1 last season. They must have been in Division 2.
You got promoted. That's good.
So no, they weren't even in Division 2. So they must have been. Were they in our division then?
I thought they were. Yeah, I thought they were first team.
Yeah, they played us last season, didn't they?
We battered them a couple of times as well, I believe. So should be. Good
they were. Really strange.
I'm going to do my best to come to the.
They finished bottom of Division 3 last year.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Yeah, strange one, isn't it? I don't get it. Anyway, unless they've done a massive recruitment drive and got in a few players.
I don't know. Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see what happens. Anyway, either way, it's a good experience. If you are even if the football's not to your taste, Roy's Burger Van's open for business, so you can always have a burger. Right, good. What we done? What do you reckon? Nothing else to talk about? All done?
I think we can finish off there, Cole. I think we'd say thanks for coming on. It's been great.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for giving you a little insight into all the games, especially the games that we weren't at. We'll see you at the next game. Well, not me.
You won't. I will. I'll see you at Walton, Cole. I'll be on the bus.
At least you'll be there with a real fan, Si.
Yeah, exactly. These fair weather.
Yeah.
These fair weather supporters, mate.
He's only going because he's got a lift.
All the shot must be away.
Yeah. If there was no coach on, then he wouldn't be going.
Unfortunately, because I don't follow Aldershot, as you know, I don't actually know who they're playing and where they are. So, but anyway, my first priority was always getting behind the boys on Saturday. So
right, yeah. So for everyone watching watching us on YouTube, this Saturday is it's the FA Cup second qualifying round away at Walton and Hersham. So if you can get there and watch and cheer on the lads and make sure we've got good numbers.
Yeah, get behind the boys. Come on, you yellows.
Simon's obviously going to be there. Cole's going to be there. So if you see Simon, give him go and say hello to him. And as I always say, do not approach him if he's got a burger in his hand, because he will bite your hand off. But that leaves us to say good night. This episode has been sponsored by Chartec Consulting, taking your business visions and turning them into innovative reality. For more information, visit chartecconsulting.co.uk. Carl, thanks again for coming on. It's been a pleasure. And we will see you
up the borough.
Up the borough, yeah. We will see you in the future games. Simon, say good night.
Say good night.
You're an idiot. It's good night from me. And we will be back Well, actually, we will be back in probably a couple of weeks with another podcast. We're going to have a little break, a little rest, and we'll be back in a couple of weeks with another podcast. So we will see you all very soon.